Yeah?
There you go.
What else you got?
That's it. Got a little bit of that.
A little bit of that? That works.
Boy.
Keep going, Glomer.
Hey, Punky.
Glomer. Wow. There's a name I haven't thought of in a long time.
That's right, you haven't.
It's me, Glomer. Back from the Punky Brewster cartoon and looking for work. I heard they did a Punky Brewster reboot show.
So now tell me, was that Frank Welker doing that voice?
What do you think?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I love that you can just guess Frank Welker on any cartoon, any like weird cartoon voice, and you have like an 80% chance of being right.
Yes, indeed. Did they call Glomer for the Punky reboot? No. No, they did not.
Anyway.
I hear Alf coming back.
What?
Alf's back.
I don't think he is.
He is. He just got a Twitter account the other day. Alf's
Yeah.
Elon
running
Musk is
for-
ruining everything.
He's a return to the spotlight for the alien life form, Gordon Shumway.
It's gotta be a
Gordon, boom.
streaming
Gordon.
service or brand.
You remember that episode of Punky Brewster? not the cartoon, but the live action one where her friend got trapped in the refrigerator?
I actually don't remember that one. No.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh man, it was one of those
Was it
really special
Very
episodes.
grim ending to that one.
They actually went through 4 kids filming it.
Very tragic.
It was not a safe set.
No.
Oh boy.
All right.
Yep. There we go.
Hello and welcome to episode 808 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, May 3rd, 2022. I'm your host, Chris Johnston, and with me as always from Canada is Mr. Greg Seward.
Hello.
How's it going there, sir?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Got a new car this week, finally.
Oh, very nice.
Ooh.
Yeah. Pretty happy about that.
Yeah.
Still learning how to use it.
Okay.
It's got its own touch screen and everything. It's
the tall,
that's
skinny one
all-
makes it go.
all new.
The little short, fat one makes it stop. There's a hole on the side where you put
What?
gas in.
So CJ makes it go, Phil makes it stop. So
Precisely.
Does it
That's
have
how you remember.
CarPlay? Do you have CarPlay
Yes.
in the car? Which
Which
is
is very
nice. I love
exciting.
CarPlay.
Yeah, I love that. I love that it just fires up when I get in the car now, as opposed to how I used to have to do it in my 11-year-old car before that one.
Yeah.
Where you plug the cassette tape into
I didn't
the
have to
player,
plug it in. No, I didn't have to do
and
that.
You plug the cord into your portable
Those were the
CD.
days.
Yeah.
There was a time when I used my Sega CDX as a portable CD player
Oh wow.
connected
In
to
the
the
car?
tape deck in my
That's-
car.
That's a hardcore fan.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
right.
Is that
So that's
Yeah.
why
Only
nobody
portable-
broke into
It
your
was the
car.
only
They're
portable
like,
CD
"Oh,
player I had.
yeah."
Oh, that thing never stayed in the car.
I would hope not. My
No.
God.
Hope not.
Is
Yeah.
No,
that CDX on display behind you now?
it is. That is the
Oh.
one.
Beautiful.
Ah.
Right back there.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
That was my car CD player.
It's a top shelf.
Played a lot of Genesis music. As in
Oh, the
Phil
band.
Collins. Yeah,
All
band.
but it was fitting, right?
Land of Confusion
Oh yeah, Land of Confusion is great.
on repeat.
Yeah.
Genesis Live, The Way We Walk, great CD. One of the first ones I ever bought.
Oh, all right. What about you, Phil? What are the first CDs that you bought?
You know what? I actually know the very first CD that I purchased.
Yeah.
The very first CD I ever purchased was the soundtrack to the Blues Brothers.
Nice.
Yes, indeed.
Very nice.
The first.
So did it
cassette
come in?
tape- Huh?
Did it come in the long box? Remember when they were selling CDs
Oh,
in
yeah,
long
yeah.
boxes? Yeah.
Oh,
'Cause
absolutely.
My Genesis CD came in a long box.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that was.
I mean, that for anyone who doesn't understand that, it still had the CD size jewel case,
right.
but the cardboard box was at least twice as long as that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a tall, skinny, long box. They called
It was
them.
the CJ of CD boxes.
Yes.
That's right.
But then when you opened it, it was the fill of jewel cases.
inside.
Yeah.
Hey, open me up, pop me in your CDX. We'll have fun together.
But only if you have a a cassette tape with a lead off of it for the
Oh,
headphones.
of course, yes.
It was a loss prevention
Have that.
measure.
It was great.
It was so kids wouldn't steal CDs at the mall. Well, it
I'm
was
just kidding. It wasn't great. That was a terrible way to listen to music in the car, but
it was
it was
harder.
what we had. Yeah.
It was slightly more difficult
Yeah.
for someone to steal a CD out of a long box.
Slightly. Yeah.
Mhm.
And my first CDs.
No one
Yeah.
asked.
Let's just go through this. Well, this is for my birthday. I got a CD boombox.
Kanye West.
Got a boombox. No.
How ironic.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Was Paula Abdul,
Oh,
Nice.
Forever Your Girl.
Forever Your Girl.
Boom. And
Yep.
then the Madonna Dick Tracy album.
oh.
That was
Now,
great.
Is that why everyone back at Ziff called you MCJ Scat Cat? Was because of your
Exactly
I
why.
don't think was that song on Forever Your Girl?
I'm pretty sure it was.
Was it really?
Was it really?
Wow. See,
Yeah.
now I had the cassette single of that song,
I believe it's called a single.
whatever it's called. That's
I
what
also had the single of that song
Yeah.
because it had an extended mix.
and it had another MC
Inside.
Scat Cat track on the back. It wasn't another Paulo Abdul track. It was
It was
another MC
terrible.
Scat Cat track on the
Oh, wow.
B side. Yeah,
I never
that's what
listened
we all
to that.
wanted. More Scat Cat.
Mm-hmm.
More Forever My Girl, less MC Scat Cat.
DMC stood for more
Speak
cat.
for yourself. That's right.
But anyway, joining me from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald.
Oh, that's me.
Oh, you're introducing him now that you've already asked him a question?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
weird.
why not?
That was a what's the term in like a TV show? Oh, cold open.
Cold
It was a
open.
cold
Yeah.
open. That's what that was.
Yeah.
You know what? I also got a car. These past couple weeks, I got a car as well.
Very nice.
Yeah. So it's car buying time.
Apparently.
Buy
Aegis.
Well,
what's
to be
that?
fair, I bought this car in February.
Oh,
It just
really?
showed up this week.
Oh.
Oh man, so we only had to wait like a week for our car to show
Mhm.
up. So, but it is also it's a new car. I've never bought a new car before. I've always had used cars.
Oh, really?
Always had used cars, but just the way things are shaking out lately, new cars are not that much more expensive than used cars. It turns out. So we just went all in and
Well, they're so desperate for
when you-
vehicles, right? Like
Well,
when
that's
I
just it,
when I
yeah.
went to trade mine in, because my Kia was 11 years old, and I did not take good care of it.
yeah,
So I went in thinking, if I get $1,000 on trade in, I'll be happy.
right.
And it's like without even batting an eyelash, they're like, "Yeah, we'll give you 25 for it."
Oh wow,
Sold.
Ah,
there you go.
done.
Yeah.
We did not.
But you have to wait
trade
3
in.
months for your car.
Well, we did not trade in because we needed a second car. We are
Yeah,
now
see, I
a
don't have that
two-car
problem.
household, and
Yeah.
they seemed very disappointed that we were not trading in the old car.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're desperate for.
I'm not going to go so far as to say they gave us the hard sell to get rid of the car, but are you sure?
Phil, you
know
ever
what?
hear a take a penny, leave a penny?
Oh, is that how
Right?
that works at
Very
a dealership?
similar.
You can just drop off a car and
No.
drive whichever one you want off the lot.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So my daughter's got COVID.
So
Congratulations
did
to
she
her.
not get it before?
She didn't get it. No, she didn't get
Okay,
it.
I forgot.
When I had it.
Ah. So this was this like a
This was
school
new.
thing?
This was a school thing. Yeah, there was a positive case in her class, and
You guys
then
don't mask in schools anymore, right?
no,
We
and
do.
then yeah, she ended up getting sick on
Ugh.
Friday night and Saturday morning. She was supposed to have a friend from where we used to live come down and visit, and she sounded like she had a cold, so we gave her a test, and she's positive.
Ugh.
Yeah.
How's she feeling today?
About the same.
Oh, dear.
Still runny nose, cough, things like that.
Yikes.
But
That was my 9-year-old. That was the worst of her symptoms.
Oh, yeah.
And she kind of just recovered after a couple days. So
yeah,
everyone else it was worse, but for her, she sort of sailed through it.
I'm feeling pretty lousy myself. I had a very sore throat yesterday, and I've been the runny nose and all that, and I'm going to be hitting the little mute button on my little soundboard here.
Well,
just whenever I do a mucus snort like this. You didn't hear that.
Didn't even hear that. No.
Didn't even hear that.
Thank you for sparing our listeners.
That's you know what?
Your bodily noises.
That's the one bodily noise you get spared today, friends.
That's right.
But I took a test. Nothing. I'm negative.
Nothing yet. Yeah.
I think it's just allergies.
Yeah, maybe.
I get hit pretty hard with allergies around this time of year anyway, so
yeah,
I think that's what it is.
All right.
But I hope your kid ends up feeling better soon.
I hope so too. We're supposed to fly to Chicago on Friday.
Ooh.
So I hope things are cleared up by then.
That's okay.
We'll see.
Oh boy.
But yeah.
There we go.
Fun times.
Mhm.
All right. Let's get into some video game news. Why don't we?
Okay.
Let's talk about Yuji Naka.
Do we have to?
Shall we? Sure.
Okay.
Who issued a series of tweets talking about the situation with Balan Wonderworld, that he was actually taken off the project 6 months before it shipped, and he sued Square Enix for shipping an incomplete game and not taking his feedback into account. Yeah,
is that what the lawsuit is, or there must be more to it than that? Like wrongful termination or something.
Wrongful termination,
like contractual something or other.
It's a business
Seems
order removed him as the game's director around a half a year before launch. He filed a lawsuit against Square Enix over the matter, over being removed.
Okay, so it was the removal, not shipping a broken game.
No,
is what he's suing over.
No.
Right now, Bethesda's like flipping through law books. Trying to get a little preemptive counter argument going.
Well, I mean, there's in the past weren't there what's the word I'm looking for? When a lot of people sue someone at the same time?
Class action
lawsuits over unfinished games.
Yeah, but those are just for show.
I know that.
Not
if you're going to sue over an unfinished game, it's not really the creator of the game that's going to do that.
I got my $5 off an NES game coupon out of those class action lawsuits back in the day. So
hold on, I think I see a tweet. This is Miyamoto. My Joy-Cons are drifting. Time to sue.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
No, that's not happening.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Like when I heard about this happening this week, and I have no insight into what happened here, obviously, outside of what Naka has said. Also, there was a previous around, I don't know when the game came out, but around March last year, there was I think a Famitsu interview with Naoto Oshima, who of course was the creator of Sonic. As much as we all want to say Yuji Naka was the creator of Sonic, he was not.
Right.
Naoto
he created
Oshima
the
was. Yeah, Oshima created the character.
Right. Yeah.
And so they were working together. This was actually the first time they worked together on a game in, I don't know, like 20 years almost.
Mm-hmm.
But Naka was representing his company or whatever sub company from Square Enix that was in charge of this, whereas Oshima is actually part of our Zest, right?
Right.
So they were sort of a client contractor relationship there. And back in March of 21, when he did this interview, he actually made reference to sort of the old school way that they wanted to, not him in particular, but that the project ended up being run.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have the Google English translation of this, where the producer as well, Fujimoto, was being interviewed, where the interviewer asked, like, is co-op play a part of aiming for a platform like Balan Wonderworld? Again, this is a terrible translation, but Fujimoto said that they introduced co-op in the second half of development. So if it was a 3-year development cycle, this was introduced at least 18 months into the project. Which I feel like your design would have probably been locked down by then, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So in the middle of development, I was asked, isn't it interesting if we can have co-op? I don't know who asked him that, and implemented it later. It made it even harder to balance. And then Oshima said he thinks that the process of making games now is to be carefully constructed, but in the past we used to make changes and additions in the middle of the process and did
Sure.
something quite unreasonable. I felt the same atmosphere this time. So it's like he called out that what he says in that interview compared with some of Naka's quotes this week that we saw, which was, he called out the fact that you should be improving the game right up until launch, which I think is insane personally.
I think it's true, but
I don't think in the way he means it.
No, not in the way that he means it.
Right.
Little things.
So it definitely rings true, but I don't know. Like I have to say, I feel bad for him as a creative, that the game didn't sort of meet his vision, especially where they were using a contractor to make the game. But at the same time, his reference to how, we were working on Sonic right up until the last minute, I think is, and everyone seems to have glommed onto that. And it really drives me crazy because there is in no way, shape, or form is game development and software development the same now as it was 30 years ago.
No.
So I agree that I'm sure they were working on Sonic right up to the last minute. Sonic's development team, it only had 2 developers, first of all, but it was 7 people. Only 2 of them were developers, and he was the lead developer. And they were working like 19-hour days, they said, near the end of that, like 1-year process.
Yeah.
Whereas now you're talking about a fully 3D world with multiple systems, over 100 people on the team, 3-year development cycle. It's not the same thing. And I hate that people have picked up on that and are pointing to it like, yeah, he's right. I don't think he is. But
and also
I'm also not Yuji Naka, so I don't know. What have I ever done? But
fundamental flaws with the gameplay design of Balan Wonderworld.
Right.
Like you can play the demo and just see that the game itself is not going to be repaired by even 6
at the 0
months.
at the 0 hour.
No, it's
Right.
not going to be.
Like, I mean, what he's describing in that, he's talking about how when you even have one ring in Sonic and you take a hit, you don't die, right? The fact that you have any rings at all, you don't die. And it's like, okay, but that change does not it does fundamentally change the gameplay from a standpoint of like, it's friendlier.
Yeah.
But that doesn't change the physics. It doesn't change the level design. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't change. Whereas nowadays, when you make a fundamental change near the end of the development cycle, even 20 years ago, it was like this. It has such major ripple effects across so many systems, especially in a fully 3D game. It's just not it's not a good comparison as far as I'm concerned.
No, not a good comparison. And then I also have heard, that people have Sonic prototypes from various points in that game's development, and the One Ring thing was in there for a while, at least. So it wasn't like it was introduced exactly at the end.
Right. Now I do remember because I wrote a history of Sega Technical Institute for Profound Waste of Time issue, and I remember some of the developers that I interviewed from STI. One of them did call out the ring part, and he actually did say like that was what brought that game alive, adding in the whole having one ring, because up until that point it was a technical masterpiece, but it wasn't a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Right. And like he was saying, like, we got this prototype where they'd added in the whole, if you have a ring, then you don't die when you get hit. And it made it a great game. Like it was that piece. So he's right to point to it and say, like, that can fix a game for sure. And it did apparently there. But also a few of the different developers I talked to also said that he was a nightmare to work with.
Yeah.
I
mean, certainly there are two sides to every story here.
Yeah.
He was removed. It sounded like he complained that Square Enix was using a piano version of one of the background music tracks.
Speaking of being a
for
nightmare.
Promotion, it's like, why is that something you're getting like so involved in? Like, save that for later. That doesn't
maybe don't die on that hill.
Yeah, don't die on that hill, right?
Yeah,
but
now it sounds like the other thing that he's complaining about which is Arzest releasing or sending the final version of the game, having not fixed some
Right.
bugs. I think
Yeah.
that's probably a disconnect between him and the producer at Square Enix
Certainly.
of what bugs were considered shippable and what weren't. And I mean, I think Naka is very used to being the final voice of
Sure.
quality control in his games, and it sounds like he didn't have that ability here,
Right.
which I could see somebody like him being not okay with that. But
hmm
yeah, that's the way she goes. So
Right. He's not Kojima.
yeah,
Doesn't have that kind of pull
no, not anymore.
necessarily. No. Alrighty. Well, let's talk about some delays here. Well, one delay. The Mario movie. Delayed with a tweet from Miyamoto on the Nintendo America account that said, "This is Miyamoto." Which I read that
Hello,
and
humans.
thought, I really honestly thought that either I was looking at one of those accounts that does the like just slightly different than Nintendo America, like maybe it'll be a 1 instead of an I or something, then it'll like mess you up this much. Right.
Right.
This or I thought they were hacked, because who's
Right.
going to start a tweet saying this is Miyamoto? It's like, what?
This is Miyamoto. It is you who are the ball lickers.
Exactly. But no, this one reads, "This is Miyamoto. After consulting with Chris San, my partner at Illumination, on the Super Mario Brothers film, we decided to move the global release to spring 2023, April 28th in Japan and April 7th in North America. My deepest apologies, but I promise it will be well worth the wait."
Cool.
So the Mario movie has been delayed.
Probably need to make room for more Sonic movies.
So who is Chris San?
It's whoever's in charge of Illumination. It's
Yeah.
not.
Somebody
You know
from
what?
Illumination.
I'm guessing
You're thinking it was Chris Pratt.
Oh,
What were you
I
guessing?
figured it probably wasn't Chris Pratt. It's probably not like Shigeru Miyamoto and Chris Pratt were just like chilling out.
Hanging out, right?
And just, hey, you want to push this back? You know what? I'm guessing it's Chris Meledandre,
Sounds right.
Okay.
Illumination founder.
There you go.
So
Isn't he also the creator of the Rabbids at
Oh God.
Ubisoft?
is that true?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Or are
sure
you making a Minions joke?
No, I'm pretty sure the Rabbids and the Minions were created by the same person.
I'm
For
looking
real.
I'm looking at his Wikipedia and I'm seeing early career,
Not
Uh,
Ubisoft.
not Ubisoft. I'm seeing Cool Runnings.
Where did you
Well,
work
maybe
at?
that was just
Not
a-
Ubisoft.
I'm seeing Footloose.
Maybe that was just an urban legend then.
I think it must be, yes.
It might be. But anyway. So yeah, we have to wait a bit longer for the Mario movie. We haven't even had a trailer yet. We don't even know anything about this thing. I guess a script leaked last week that may or
Yeah.
may not be real. But whenever it's ready, I'll watch it. Not really that concerned. This doesn't really affect me at all. I know it affects you guys. I know you guys are deeply hurt
Do not
by the
care.
delay of this film.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see it when
Yeah.
it comes out.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, here's something to get excited about, because Microsoft has announced that their Xbox Bethesda showcase is going to be on June 12th. So it's not E3, but kind of same time as E3 would normally be.
So hashtag E3 saved.
E3 redeemed, yes.
I mean, Microsoft, they weren't part of E3 last time, were they?
Well, they were part of E3, but they weren't
was
actually
out-
like on the show floor or
Right, it
anything.
was
It was
outside
part
the
of the
show.
E3 complex
Yeah.
or whatever. It wasn't like EA's
greater
thing.
E3 experience.
There you go.
Ah,
Yeah.
Yeah. They had their own thing in the Microsoft Theater.
right.
And they've done that for a few years, where they've had like separate Xbox stuff. They do like a Fan Fest event in the Microsoft Theater at that area next to Staples Center.
I was gonna say, wasn't it a series of tents?
No, it's not
No,
a
I think
series of
it's Sony.
tents.
I think Sony.
That was
called a
Sony's
circus.
thing. That was the Last of Us 2
Right, that's what it was.
barn dance.
Oh, right.
Right.
I remember that.
Yes. But yeah, June 12th. Get excited.
Can't you tell? It's palpable.
Palpable. Yes. Looking forward to seeing what other, like, are we going to get a Nintendo Direct around E3 time? Because they have to have been planning one, whether or not E3 was going to happen. Yeah,
I
still hope we get our video game news in June, is what I'm saying.
I mean, yeah, I don't even really pay attention to what the schedule is for that stuff anymore. Like,
I pay attention.
I feel like I know about Nintendo Directs about a week before they happen.
If that.
Yeah.
Because usually they announce them like 2 days before they happen.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But hoping the June is full of video game goodness, whether it's presentations like this or whether it's Jeff Keighley, Summer Game Fest, whatever it is. Yeah, that'll be nice. That'll be nice. Anyway, let's talk about what we've been playing.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll kick it off. I've been playing Nintendo Switch Sports, the hot new game for the Nintendo Switch.
Yes.
You wearing your wrist straps?
I'm wearing my wrist straps. I'm not gonna like throw a Joy-Con into the television, which somebody has of course already done.
Mm-hmm.
Was that a bit though?
Or multiple somebodies.
You never know at this point, right? Because they were streaming. I mean, there was the dude there a couple weeks ago who literally crashed his plane for the views.
For the clout?
Yeah.
For the clout. That was the word I was looking
the internet
for.
clout.
Did you watch that, by the way?
No.
No, I
Dude
did not.
crashed his plane. It was crazy.
Was he in the plane?
No,
he jumped out.
Oh, okay. He bailed out. Where did he crash it into?
Somewhere in the mountains of, I think, in California.
Okay.
It was just like a little single or two-seater, but it was like suspiciously covered in cameras. And like the dude in the moment of like, oh no, I didn't expect this. I need to save my life. Had a selfie stick on him the whole time.
Well, yeah, as
like,
you do when you
from
fly.
the second he jumped out to the second he landed.
Yeah, when you're
Naturally.
all good pilots
Yeah,
have a selfie stick within arm's reach, just in case.
It was crazy.
Just in place
and that's where we're at.
Going down.
And that's where we are. So yes, there's a very good chance this dude who was streaming when it happened threw his Switch Joy-Con at his television on purpose.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Quite possible.
I haven't picked this up yet,
Yeah.
but I'm going to. Is
Good.
it good? Are you enjoying it?
I am having fun with it. So I streamed it a bit on Friday.
Oh,
yeah,
there it is.
Counter programming to me. Thanks, bro.
It wasn't on at the same time.
Oh no, that was Thursday. You were streaming something on Thursday as well.
At the same time you were, yes.
Were you streaming for charity?
No.
Were
I
you
don't stream for charity. I stream for me.
No, he was streaming to take money away from the stream for charity.
Were you streaming to actively create diseases that harm children?
Probably.
Yeah.
No.
Like really negating.
Why would I do
CJ
that?
streams
No.
against my Extra Life stream on Thursday. Next day, Charlotte has COVID.
There it is.
Connected?
Follow the money, people. Follow the money.
What money? I don't know.
Uh,
Yeah, so I'm playing around with my new streaming setup because I have a Stream Deck and now I have 2 monitors that I can hook up to my PC and actually do this thing right.
Yes.
And so I streamed a little Nintendo Switch Sports and for about 2 hours.
yeah.
And had a lot of fun with it.
Okay.
Really? Yeah. Whenever you first try one of the sports, it puts you in a... Well, okay.
Oh, here
First
we
of
go.
all, I should say the distinction this game makes between like online and local play. And most of the game, they really want you to play online with this game against other people.
You're already turning me off.
Yeah, really. I don't like that.
Because all of these sort of character customization stuff, the character customization from the boot up screen is really quite low. There's not a lot of choices on what you can outfit your character with. All that stuff is unlocked by playing online against other people. And it's interesting. It's an interesting choice, one that I wouldn't have necessarily expected from Nintendo. But there's like all these spaces in the character creator for like customizations and glasses and things. But there are no glasses or like accessories you can really put on your character until after you played online and unlocked some of those things. So a little bit of a
We all know
odd
people with
choice.
glasses can't play sports.
Well, that's also true.
Very true.
Bunch of nerds.
I'm living
Also
proof.
true. Yes. But yeah, so when you play online, which I did, because I wanted to unlock those sweet customizations, it first when you first try a sport, it of course fills your lobby with bots. It doesn't actually pit you against real people for the first time, which is
Okay.
nice, and has a little bit of tutorial information as you're playing, which is also good. And then, once you've done it once, it throws you to the wolves, per se, and lets you play against the world. So played a bit of bowling,
Yeah.
killed the bots completely. It's not even any competition there. But when they threw me in a lobby with real people, it got to be a bit of a nail biter towards the
A
end.
little real.
Got real. Yeah. So I played tennis, bowling, badminton, volleyball, and soccer. The only one I haven't played yet is Chambara, which is the sword fighting game.
Highlight. Is Highlight in there?
Don't know what that is.
Oh, okay.
Jeez, I know what Highlight is.
Yeah, I was
What
going to
is
say,
this? What?
I felt like that was a reference you'd get.
Highlight.
What?
It's the game with that kind of big scoop.
Scoop.
And you have the ball in the scoop, and you kind of you
It was supposed to be the next big
Oh,
thing there for a little while.
flip your wrist. The
For
ball
like 5 minutes.
flies out of the scoop.
Yep, I'm there. Nope, they don't have that.
Ah,
Lame.
do you actually know what we're talking about?
Yes.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
No, I don't.
Look up Highlight, and you'll see the scoop, and you'll go, "Oh, it's that."
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
spelled. Was it JAI?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then a lie is spelled a certain
A-L-A-I.
way. What is it?
A-L-A-I, I believe.
ALAI.
It's 2 words.
Do a
Highlight.
search for Highlight, and you'll go, "Oh yeah, Highlight."
I know what they were talking about on this
You don't.
podcast. Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway, so yeah, badminton's fun.
Yeah.
It's very similar to tennis, obviously, but with a birdie instead.
would you
Shuttlecock.
describe? It's a shuttlecock.
Shuttlecock? Yeah.
Hmm.
And
Say it loud, say it proud.
the tennis is doubles only, not
Oh, okay.
yeah, so you
Really?
control both players. Yeah, and
I'm seeing
I
doubles
really enjoyed.
here.
What's that?
4 tennis players.
4.
Yeah.
And then soccer, which is sort of Rocket League style soccer with the huge ball.
Really?
And yeah, it's pretty
Huh.
interesting. You can jump, you can do like motion control kicks on the ball to kick high, low, or side to side.
Highlight.
Highlight, exactly. Had a couple good plays in soccer, but a couple times, of course, our entire team was all the way at the opposing goal, and then they kicked it away and ran it right in unopposed to our goal. That happened a couple of times, yeah. But having a bit of fun with it.
Coaching.
I have enjoyed playing it. And then yesterday I played a bunch of local play with Charlotte and my wife, and we played a bunch of bowling. And man, my arm is really hurting today because we played bowling and then badminton and yeah, and tennis as well.
And then you spend all night cranking it.
Jesus.
Exactly. So my arm is really hurting, as you might imagine from
I
some
would, yeah. No,
exertion.
yeah. I've seen you go.
What?
What?
What? Okay.
I've been bowling with
Yeah,
CJ.
you've been bowling with me at 2 semesters of bowling.
He's
2 semesters of bowling. I forgot about that.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. My daughter finally got the hang of the motion control with the Joy-Con and started doing really, really well. So
good.
and they were totally whipping my butt in tennis and badminton. Both my wife and my daughter were on one team for tennis, and then I was with a ghost player in tennis where I get to control the ghost.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah. But yeah, overall, it's pretty interesting, especially the sort of weekly rewards that they have going for playing online. So you level up each time you get a level. It lets you pick a random, or it picks a random prize from that week's item drop. So kind of it's a very live service approach to Nintendo Switch Sports.
I love nothing
pretty
more than a
interesting.
live service approach to a full price game.
Well, this one's $40, so
It's full enough price.
yeah. But apparently, once you play each sport online 10 times, it unlocks like a pro queue for that. So the people who are really good at it can be in a separate pool from
Okay.
the newbies, which is pretty interesting.
So you
But,
only have to lose 10 times before you can start.
Before you go pro, that's right. Losing professionally. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
But it's pretty enjoyable. I like it. Good package of stuff. It's a shame that they don't have the 100 pin bowling mode from Wii Sports Club on the Wii U, which was one of my favorites. But it's not in
I've
here.
not played any Wii Sports games since the first Wii Sports.
Oh, Wii Sports Club was excellent.
Yeah, I don't know if I've played much, if any, of Wii Sports Club back in the day.
Well, if you remember, it was that sort of free-to-play approach
Mm-hmm.
where you could
I
rent
do remember you talking about that.
the sports, or you could buy them outright.
Oh, yeah.
So if you had a party and everybody wanted to play a particular sport, you could rent it for like $5. It was a very interesting approach to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and all of the online play here is very short term. Like nothing, you're not going to get into like a 15-minute game of anything. It's all pretty low scoring. Like even soccer, it's like 3-minute games.
Oh, really?
5-minute games is very quick. So
That's good.
Yeah.
That's what it should be.
it is how it should be. Yeah. And the bowling, they eliminate the lower tier players every round. So if you're bad at it, you get shuffled off to a another game or requeued instead, which I think is probably good. But yeah, having fun with that. So then I also played a game called Unplugged VR. This is a sort of rock band style game
Uh-oh.
for VR. Yeah, I was on sale on Fanatical for $15. So I was like, okay, I'll try that out. And especially interesting because a recent Oculus Quest 2 update modified the hand tracking, which this game uses hand tracking exclusively. You actually can't play it with the controllers. So the new hand tracking actually differentiates your hands better, and even when you like cover up the other hand using one hand.
I did not even know hand tracking was a thing on Oculus.
It was, but it's bad because it used to be that if you put your hands over each other,
Right.
it couldn't
They
see the
right.
farther
Oh,
away
okay.
hand at all. It would disappear entirely. But now it still shows you where your hands are somehow.
Useful.
Yeah, very useful. There's a vacation simulator update that uses hand tracking that I really want to try out.
Oh, man.
And then this Unplugged VR game uses it as well. And it's really interesting. Like it's very much like Rock Band, playing the guitar, except you can put your 4 fingers like anywhere on the neck of the guitar, and the note highway sort of moves. It can be anywhere on the neck of the guitar. So you're moving your hand like up and down like this. And it can tell like
keep
where
going.
your fingers are pressing.
I was waiting for you to say something. I was sitting here trying not to laugh and just watching Phil's face. I could see the smile creeping over it.
A little slower.
Is this like
Like
when you guys
that?
are roommates?
Yeah. Work the frets.
Work the friends.
Yeah.
But
A little whammy bar action there. Give that a little wiggle.
yeah, you can do the whammy bar with
There we
this
There we
game
go.
too.
There we
Yeah.
So
Yikes.
good.
But it's air guitar. It's not like you're not even holding onto a plastic
pretty
instrument,
cool.
so it's very hard. It's actually kind of tricky to make your fingers go where they need to go. I'll go slower.
Yeah.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
there you go.
Oh, God.
That's always the real trick, is getting your fingers in the right position.
That's right.
I don't know. I think you're doing it wrong.
Having them go where you want them to go.
Willy nilly.
Mhm.
Do it to Dusimo.
So having a lot of fun with that. Just kind of playing around with the hand tracking in
Sounds
VR.
cool.
It is
Yeah.
cool. I'm,
Yeah.
I'm pretty pleased with that.
I know
actually.
you're big, big Guitar Hero / Rock Band fan. So.
I am. Yeah. I wish I had the library that I have in Rock Band in Unplugged VR, but
Mhm.
sadly,
Do they have a lot of music that you can purchase in this one?
it's like 20 or 30 tracks, and they only
Okay.
have one DLC that's like 4 or 5 tracks.
Okay.
So not great.
Is it
Not
like
a huge selection.
actual bands though?
It's actual bands, yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yes, indeed. And you have to strum with the other hand, so you're
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how you
Yeah,
play
yeah,
guitar.
be clear.
No.
We get it, man. We
okay.
get it.
And it's hardly playing a guitar if you're just working the frets.
Yeah,
Gotta get the strum action going.
of course, very important.
Yeah.
I also played some more Dismantle, and I actually played it with Greg's best friend Mike,
Shocking.
and we played it over Steam Remote Play.
Oh yeah,
'cause
how'd that go?
It's local. It's a local co-op only game. It's not online, and so Mike bought it, and we played online through Remote Play, and
Did you
it
talk
worked
Mike
out
into
really
buying
well.
it?
I didn't have to talk him into it. No, he
Oh, wow,
found out it
okay.
was a survival resource game, and he immediately bought it.
That sounds like something weird enough for him to like.
Yeah, but like I said last week, it's just the type of survival game that it takes out enough systems that I'm interested. Right? There's no hunger, like I said before, no sleep that you need to worry about, and the food that you cook for upgrades, all of the upgrades you get are permanent, which is nice.
Okay, that's good.
And it feels more like an exploration game than anything else, and it's got kind of a strange story. There's some strange goings on that are only revealed later. It's sort of masquerading as the zombie apocalypse game, but then you find all these ancient structures, and it's very weird later on. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. Even playing through a second time from the beginning with Mike. So yeah, it's a fun time. I encourage everybody to check it out, especially if you're not a fan of survival games that make you do all that sort of busy work. Here it whittles things down to only the busy work for upgrades. The rest of the stuff is not there. So, and it's out on everything. It's out on Switch, Xbox, PS5, everything. So yeah, it's worth it. And that's pretty much what I've been playing. So, Greg, what do you got?
Not really much. I played some more Gran Turismo 7 this week. It's still kind of where it was. I think the online might be getting a little bit better, but other than that, I really don't have much to add this week. Sorry.
Okay.
Very disappointing.
Yep.
Did you see that? What was it? Forza Horizon 2 showed up on the Xbox Store again, yesterday for a 6-hour period or something like that.
Why? What? I don't
Seems like it was an
understand.
accident.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I've forgotten that it had been delisted.
Well, they pulled it from sale. Yeah, quite a while ago.
Yeah. Now that you're saying it, I remember. But no, I didn't see that at all.
Yeah.
I've kind of stopped paying close attention to that series at this point because I was really loving it up until 3, and then 4 I didn't like much, and 5 I bounced off really fast. So yeah, it's too bad. But yeah, play more Gran Turismo 7.
So is your GT7 League stuff going on? What?
No,
is
we
the
went
state of
back
the
to
game?
GT Sport. We went back to GT Sport
Back to GT
for another
Sport.
season. Yeah.
And why is that?
GT7's online, it's not stable enough. Now when you're playing in sport mode, it's I actually had a race tonight before we started, and it ran pretty well. We've been finding anyway in private rooms, the connection can just be all over the place, very unstable. lots of times, well, what we were having before was sync issues to the point that some people, like, if there were like 8 people in a room and you get into a race, like one person might only see 3 of the other people, one person might see all 7. Some, like, I've had races where I was racing with someone who I could see them, and I could, like, we were having contact because they couldn't see me. Or
Oh,
like, there was one race we had where me and one other guy were starting on the front row, and on my screen he didn't start, so we all took off from the grid and he just sat on the grid, but on his screen he was racing with me. Like, it was really bad. It's not that bad anymore.
huh. Okay.
But it's still got like issues where the updates, it's laggy, and so you'll get cars sort of jumping around on the screen, and it's still not ready. It's still not ready for like competitive play. So
I think that would be important
very,
details.
yeah. Well, it's kind of when I had a bit of a rant about it there after the 107 patch, that was sort of one of the reasons why I was so upset. Was not only did they screw up the game economy and make it even less friendly, the fact that they were still messing with that at all when the online play was so broken at the time.
Yeah.
It was just like, and I realized that one is not necessarily easy to swap with the other, but it's just like, twisting the knife on the single player side when the multiplayer side is still so completely broken was just like bad timing. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, it's getting better. It's definitely getting better. And like the sport races that I've been doing lately, which is sort of the, they have like events that you can get on and play with a bunch of randoms. Those have always run a little bit better than the private rooms. And they are, like, today when I ran, it ran really well. So I'm hoping that means that the private rooms might be getting close as well. We'll
Do you
see.
think that's a difference between is the sports stuff with randoms on dedicated servers via private,
Probably.
when private rooms are like peer to peer?
Probably because, I mean, ever since Gran Turismo Sport and ever since sort of the rise of like esports in the racing arena because of COVID, I mean, they've been doing like world championships and everything. So
Yeah.
it's a big part of the business of that game now. It has been since GT Sport launched. So yeah, I assume that's the case. It would make the most sense. Like, it's way more important for this to work because there are like broadcasts tied up in this, and there's actual money and things being generated, being paid and generated, and sponsors and everything like that. So it makes sense to tie that up and make it as bulletproof as possible.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, Phil,
Yes.
what have you been playing, sir?
Well, you know what? I picked up a few games on the old virtual reality Oculus.
Yeah.
These past couple weeks. Well, first of all, Star Wars Day is coming up. The old
May the
May the
5th?
4th. So we're getting all the old Star Wars game sales going on.
Yeah.
So Oculus is having a big Star Wars sale at the moment.
They are indeed.
So I picked up the DLC for the Galaxy's Edge game, which was half
Nice.
off. Which I haven't played yet, other than a bit. I played a bit of it and enjoyed it, but I grabbed the DLC while I could because it's cheap, and I've heard it actually is pretty substantial and improves the game a fair amount. So I picked that up, and I picked up the Star Wars VR pinball.
Yes, the Zen
Nice.
Studios.
Yes, which is also half off. So I'm very pleased about that.
And then the Vader Immortal pack, like, we can get all 3 for like $15.
Oh, is that down to 15 now?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I picked that up a little while ago because they were bundling it together, and I think it was like $22 to $25 for all 3 of them, something like that. So, yeah, if you can get all 3 of them for $15, that's a steal.
That's a steal. Yeah.
So you should get on that, CJ.
I have so many things. I have so much to play on in VR. I've bought so many games on VR. I'm trying to like finish some stuff first.
Build up that library, man.
I did play more of the Room VR just to. I need to finish that before I like get onto some other things. And,
okay.
Plus, as you may be mentioning, there was a bundle on Fanatical that you could pick like
Oh,
3,
right.
5, or 9 games for
Right.
VR and save like a bunch of money. I ended up getting 5 games out of that.
Oh my goodness.
It was 5 games for $30, so I saved like $60 or
You
$65 on something.
gotta spend money to save money.
Oh,
Right.
in
How it
that
works.
case, yeah.
If you spend
What did
nothing,
I-
you save nothing.
What did I get with that? Because I picked up the Puzzle Bobble game
Yeah.
on that. I picked up what's that puzzle game? Like a literal like jigsaw
Puzzling
puzzle?
Places.
Puzzling places where you're assembling like three-dimensional
3D
models.
puzzles. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would play that. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
It's
of
quite
like
cool, actually.
of like, location type you're putting
Yeah.
together like buildings and landscapes and things like that.
Well,
And
the fun thing about that is you really like are manipulating all the pieces in 3D.
yes.
They have a nice little like snap together animation too.
Oh, beautiful.
Anyway,
And what the accounting game.
Accounting Plus.
Accounting Plus I picked up.
Yeah, I picked up
So-
Accounting Plus, Puzzle Bobble VR, A Fisherman's Tale,
Yeah.
Anshar 2, which is a space combat game.
Okay. Oh, that's like a Wing Commander kind of thing?
Yeah, Wing Commander kind of thing.
Okay.
I also got Puzzling Places, and I forget what else.
Nice.
But I got 5 games.
Look at you go.
I know, too many.
Well, I picked up this was on like a daily deal a week or so ago, and it's in that bundle as well. But that game you talked about not too long ago, Swarm,
Mm-hmm.
Swarm.
which I picked up when it was a daily deal. That's the kind of like old school Galaga shooter, but in 3D, and also you are Spider-Man,
Yep.
so you're roping around an arena.
Rope.
Also, your guns are double hook shots.
Yes,
You're
exactly.
pulling yourself around the arena. Yeah, it's great.
That is a great game.
It is fantastic. I love
I was
Swarm.
having a hoot with that, CJ. I'm really enjoying that game.
It is fantastic.
I am stunned for
Yeah.
as much as you move around in that game and as how quickly you whip all over the place.
Yeah.
I am shocked that you are not just projectile vomiting thinking about that game.
No, I know. It does not give me motion sickness really at all. that
Right.
game.
And I mean, I'm not as prone to it as you are, certainly, but
Yeah.
in a first person kind of view where you are when you do have direct control, I can only play those games for like 10 or 15 minutes before I start feeling a little uneasy.
Right.
But yeah, this was not giving me that effect at all.
No, I don't know how they did it.
Yeah.
Quite honestly.
I don't know what it is, but I mean, it looks great. The kind of like
Yeah.
old cartoony look with kind of the thick outlines. It looks good, and it feels good. Roping around, shooting
Yep.
your little hook shots
Yep.
at all the little hovering platforms, kind of pulling your arms down to build up the tension and launch yourself, and then you're in midair and you're just pew, 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 shooting all the little Galaga ships that are flying out.
It's great.
It's great.
I know.
What a treat.
It's funny
Yeah.
to me with VR games, there can be a game like that where it's great,
Yeah.
and yet you've never heard of it.
Well, that's just it. Yeah.
Nobody's
It's so
talking
wild.
about
VR, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole thing with VR. It's like there are
so
these
wild.
great games that are gems that people just don't know about because they're original IP and not on any other
Right.
console.
But it's great. It's a really fun game.
In fact,
And-
the Swarm was part of that Fanatical bundle. They sold out of copies of Swarm before the bundle was
Did
done.
they really? Wow.
Too many people wanted Swarm, which is great
Well-
because that game's awesome and everybody should
It
play
is.
it.
I'm backing up CJ's claim.
Yeah,
So if you have an Oculus, yeah, check out Swarm. My gosh.
it's good.
It's fun. And yeah, you are just kind of standing in one place while you play, but
Mhm.
you're spinning around in a circle like a madman. 'Cause
That's true.
you'll
I
whip
played
yourself out
seated.
there. Oh, did you?
In the seat.
Oh,
and
yeah,
basically
swivel
just spun
chair.
myself around.
That's
yeah,
a good way to do it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, once you kind of launch yourself in the air, or even like when you're swinging from one of the hooks, yeah, you gotta just start looking all over,
Yeah.
above you, below you to blast all the ships. So
Yeah.
good stuff. Hey,
Very fun.
speaking of having to look all over to blast stuff in VR, I also picked up. This was also a daily deal a while ago. I picked up that Superhot
Mm-hmm.
Superhot VR, which I had heard a lot of really good things about, but had not played myself. I know there's a non VR version of this too. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Superhot is just it's I think on everything is non VR.
Is it? Yeah. And it's like kind of the gimmick is it's one of those kind of like stark, sort of barren looking games, where you're fighting against these kind of blank, polygonal, red humanoid enemies, and you gotta punch them and shoot them and stuff like that. And it's like a first person type thing. Um, but in VR, it's a lot. I actually I got it and I tried playing it and I ended up bailing after after like 5 or 10
Really?
minutes. I was just like,
Really?
well, you know what it was? It was late, and
Mm.
I've talked about this on the show before, where my stupid primitive brain really locks into VR and is immediately fooled into thinking like, yes, I'm in this environment and I am in actual danger
Yeah.
because I'm an idiot. So, it starts off, I mean, you start the game and, all of a sudden, boom, you're there and there's suddenly like this person standing right in front of you, which is unnerving enough to me as is anyway. That this kind of mannequin looking creature, and it's the tutorial level, and it's oh, take a swing at it. So you punch it and it blows up or whatever, and then suddenly there's a guy coming from the other side, and holy crap, and it's like right in my face. And so once I kind of started playing the game and you have enemies rushing at you from every which direction, it's like, it starts off cool. You start a level and there's a gun right in front of you. So you pick up the gun and there's a guy coming at you and he shoots at you with the gun and you dodge, because the gimmick of the game is it goes into slow motion
Yeah.
whenever, what is it, like when you're not moving, the game's in slow motion or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. So you dodge the bullet and you shoot back, and I shot the guy in the head and his gun goes flying, and I reach up and I catch it. Now suddenly, I'm double wielding. And then I'm looking around and I look to my left. Oh, there's no one over there. And I look to my right. And then there's suddenly a guy right in my face about to punch me. And I'm just, oh my goodness. And bang, 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 bang. And I was just like, I can't deal with this stress. It's knocking on midnight. I can't handle this right now. So I need to get back to it at some point, because it's cool. It seems really cool, but for someone who gets too wrapped up in virtual reality like me, it's a little stressful.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
I dealt a lot better with Swarm.
Swarm. Yeah.
Oh, I hit the wrong button. You heard me sniffle. I'm sorry.
Yep, we
We
did.
did.
Sorry
Yeah.
about that, folks. Oh my goodness. But of course, the big thing I got this week, big game,
Yeah. Drum roll.
the big one that I was all excited about, was of course my beloved Rogue Legacy finally got its long awaited sequel. It went to version 1.0 this week. It came out of early access, which it's been in for what, couple years at this point.
At least two. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been in early access for a couple years, but yeah, it is now version 1. Actually, I think it's up to like version like 1.0.2 or something like that at this point. But it's been officially released. And of course my early access version on Steam is now the full retail version, and because it's me, I double dipped and got the Xbox version, which is the only other version that exists at the moment.
Yeah.
So they're I fully expect it to come to PlayStation and Switch later on, but they
Yeah.
haven't officially announced it or anything like that. So, so I've been playing it mostly on the Xbox. And yeah, I like I said, I picked it up on early access back when it originally went into early access back in the day, and I played a few rounds of it back then. And I talked about it a bit on the show, and if you go back, I seem to remember me being a little kind of like a little dodgy about it,
Yeah.
because it just felt weird. Which is in early access. It's gonna feel weird. It's a very early build of the game, and then I sort of stopped playing it just because I figured I'm gonna wait and just play it when it's actually done. I would rather just have this is the final product that the developers want to release, as opposed to seeing these kind of iterative steps, which some people I'm sure love.
Sure.
Yeah, I was not one of those people. Boy, oh boy, do I love this game.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I'm glad I'm glad I waited. I'm glad I didn't see all these little baby steps getting from what the early access started off as, which I was kind of like, I'm glad I still have the original game, because it's great. I'm having a blast with it. It feels just as good as the old game. They took all the mechanics of the first game that I love and sort of stepped them up, added some new techniques that actually enhance the gameplay, make maneuvering around better. You got the little like kind of spin jump off of obstacles and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
They added a lot of new character classes to the game, and the first game, which again, one of my favorite games of all time, there's only one character class that I really, really dig in that game.
Really?
I tend to just always play as the barbarian
Okay.
in that game, which is kind of like the big tank. They have a huge HP bar, but that's usually the class I will play as if presented that choice. And most of the other ones I don't really mess around with much. Anytime I end up going through a run with any other class in the first game, I never really treat it as a serious run. Whereas this, the classes all feel a lot more balanced. They all feel a lot more enjoyable to play as. So I'm having a blast just going through as the knight, as the gunslinger, as the chef. They have all these many different character classes that are really fun to play as, and I'm digging it. I'm having a lot of fun. I've went through. I mean, I don't know how many runs I've done so far. I've upgraded my castle a fair bit, just in terms of buying power ups and such. I have not beaten the first boss yet, but I was able to beat the second boss. Strangely enough, just because.
Interesting. Huh.
Well, what happened was I was going through. I was playing as the gunslinger, which. Oh no! Wait. No, I was the archer during that playthrough. Which, I'll be honest, the one character class that I don't really like that much is the archer. Because that one kind of requires you to switch to using the analog stick to control your character, because you have full 360 aim on your bow and arrow.
Yeah.
And I just don't like playing 2D games like that with an analog stick. With the analog stick.
Wasn't that the control scheme of Rogue Legacy 2 at the very beginning? That was one of the things you didn't like.
Yeah, they
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
You could not play it with the D-pad.
That's right.
They forced you to play with the analog stick just because of that archer class, or ranger, I guess, is probably what they're calling it.
Yep.
But yeah, it was like, we have like one class, and there are other classes now that have like 360 aiming, but the archer is the main one.
Mm.
But yeah, and it, like their very first update was to add directional control, which was
Good.
thankful. Yeah. But I was playing as the archer, which was the one class, like I said, that I'm not super big on. But then, as I was exploring the castle, you find different, you can find rooms where there are different, items that you can collect that will affect your gameplay. Some positive, some negative, of course.
Yeah.
And I happened to find the Icarus wings, I believe they are called. And the gimmick of the Icarus wings is if you double jump, you press jump, and then you press jump again, you can just start flying. And I mean,
Alright.
you can just move your character all over the screen. Complete freedom to move around wherever. There's no flight bar. It's complete unlimited flight. But the downside is you take twice as much damage if you get hit.
Mm.
So I was in the second area, which is it's less of like the kind of maze-like castle that we saw in the first game, and more of like a long stretch where you're just moving left to right through this environment. So I was just kind of hovering over everything in this chunk of the game, doing the old busting out the P-wing in World 8 of Super Mario 3.
Yeah.
Just fly over all those airships. But I ended up reaching the boss, and I go into the boss chamber just because I was like, well, I got nowhere else to go. I might as well see what's in here. And the second boss is this giant pirate. I believe a skeleton pirate. Yeah. A skeleton gyrate. And I was able to activate my flight, and I just flew up into the corner of the screen and shot my arrows down at it. And occasionally it would like do a big high jump, because most of its attacks are designed in such a way that they're assuming you're on the ground. So it's throwing all these giant weapons and stuff at you on the ground, but I'm hovering way up in the sky. And every now and again it would make a high jump, and I would have to kind of float over to the other side of the screen, but I just whip, and eventually killed him just by kind of cheesing it. So
Nice.
I did it. I
mean,
rogued the legacy.
That's one of the Rogue Legacy pro tips, right? Cheese
Yep.
as much as you can.
Cheese away.
Cheese away, right?
Yeah. But yeah, it's a great game. I'm on the lookout now for the actual double jump power, because there are certain parts, you'll find a level and it'll take you like, you'll find like a statue, very Metroid-esque. You'll find a statue, and instead of just like, oh, here's a new power, it takes you off into a little sub-dimension, and you have to complete a challenge. And if you do, then you permanently unlock, you unlocked the dash now, or the air dash. And I'm on the search for the double jump. But
Okay.
it's great. I'm digging it.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'm very happy with Rogue Legacy 2.
That's good to hear.
And that's what I've been playing.
All right. Well, I guess that means it's time for tweets.
Tweedly diddly dee. Tweedly diddly dee. Tweet. A tweet. This is a little more difficult than it should be because of my allergies.
All right,
Throat.
then.
Throat, you see. The nasal passages are
I see.
a little
Yes.
stuffed up at the moment. So
Yes.
it's hard to sing.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
All right. Let's do this one from hacker alias Benjamin Rivers, who says, is there a gaming moment from the past you wish you could have been able to capture? For example, through a screenshot or video capture feature.
I actually did capture some of my proudest gaming moments
On VHS tape.
from back in the day on VHS. I
Nice.
ran my game systems through my VCR, and somewhere I have a video cassette that has all the endings to Phantasy Star 3: Generations of Doom. I
Nice.
actually played
Nice.
because that had 4 different endings.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yep.
Based on like which characters you marry and
Yep.
the subsequent children that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And I recognize Phantasy Star 3 is not the most beloved Phantasy Star game, but it was
Got
my
that
first
right.
RPG and I loved it. And I did actually play through and get all the endings, and I made sure to record them.
Nice.
And I think somewhere there's a playthrough of me playing through the original Sonic the Hedgehog and getting all the Chaos Emeralds. So I got
Nice.
the good ending at the end of the game.
Nice.
Yeah, so I actually
Hmm.
do have some of those theoretically captured,
Yeah.
but I don't know. What about you guys?
I can't think of anything in particular. I mean, I'd say, all I can think of is maybe defeating like a really difficult boss or something the first time.
Yeah,
Like like whatever its real name is, but the Yellow Devil in Mega Man.
that's the Yellow Devil.
Is it the Yellow Devil? Yeah, because my friend Dave and I were stuck on that boss for so long. And of course, that was, there was no save states or anything like that. So, I mean, I can't remember exactly how Mega Man worked. If you ended up losing all your lives, you had to completely restart, or if you got to restart there, you could like continue in the level. But at the very least, you had to work your way at least through the level to get to him. And so, we didn't own the game. So we rented it multiple times, and we would rent it and we would get there and we would just like banging your head against the wall.
Did you just not know about the pause trick?
Nope, not at all.
Do you know about the pause trick today?
Yeah,
Okay.
but we didn't know then. So I
see.
mean, when we beat him legit.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it was
Good.
It was hardcore.
Okay.
So like, and the amount of like jubilation we felt, because I'd say we probably rented it 5 times. And I
Yeah.
remember vividly that we'd rented it, and we had a mutual friend named Justin who claimed he had beat this character before. And so he said, if you guys rent the game this weekend and bring it down to my place, we'll beat it. We'll beat the game. And it became clear very quickly that he'd never played the game before. So we left. We took the game. We left and we went back to Dave's place, and we were so pissed off. It was like, this is it. We're gonna do it this time, and we did. We beat that thing
Nice.
during that weekend rental. So yeah, like stuff like that. And I mean, like maybe like the time that another friend of mine and I were having a sleepover, and we decided we were going to play through Metroid, and we're not writing down passwords. And we were in the part of Metroid where you're actually going towards Mother Brain, like, where all the Metroids are attacking you. And it was probably like 4 a.m. or something like that. And decided to put the controller down to go get a snack, pause the game, put the controller down to go get a snack.
No.
And I swear to God, we came back in the room. I picked up the controller and the system reset. I don't know if maybe I was carrying like a static charge or something, is all I can think is what happened. And yeah, it reset on us, and we didn't have any passwords.
Oh no.
Yeah. So like moments like that, I would say I would love to have like some kind of record of.
Right.
But I mean, nowadays, it's not really a thing anymore with modern consoles, because it's so easy to save what you've just done. One other thing that I would love to have a copy of, and this is my fault that I don't, is a few years back, I did a playthrough on Twitch of Robotech Invasion as sort of a developer commentary that people really loved, and that I really loved having. And for some reason, I just don't have a copy of it. And of course, after a while on Twitch, your archive deletes, right?
Right.
Especially if you didn't tell it to save the thing.
And
so that's gone. It's like, I wish I had that.
Just gonna have to do it again.
Yeah,
I know. But anyway, those were that. When I saw this tweet, those were kind of like the 3 things that popped into my head.
Immediately, what came to mind for me was my Hydro Thunder Twin Galaxies breaking
your world record
run.
That would be cool.
That would be pretty great.
That'd be fun to be able to watch that again.
Where did you do that at?
At the EGM office.
That
was
was
the
the
EGM
EGM
machine. Yes, I knew that, because you told me before that was the machine that you'd set that record on.
Yep.
Was it still on the high score table at that point, or had it been reset? I can't remember.
What do you mean?
The machine, like, did your score, was it still sitting on that machine when I was there?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, definitely. But then like finishing Super Metroid for the first time, like that
Oh,
was
yeah.
just crazy. Crazy fun. Wish I had a recording of that. Not even so much the game, just my reaction to it, because I remember like jumping out of my seat when the baby Metroid comes back at the end of the game.
Spoilers.
Spoiler for Super
Dun, dun,
Metroid.
Spoilers, apparently.
But yeah, that whole bit just like
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
so hype.
I would have really liked to have had one of my old Ninja Gaiden NES playthroughs on tape, because
I did finish that legitimately once, and I don't think I've ever done it again.
honestly, I was extremely good at Ninja Gaiden back in the day. I played that game so many times. I finished it so many times just because I would constantly play it over and over and over again, and I got extremely good at it. And I couldn't get through it without taking a hit. And I don't know if I could get through it without dying, but I could certainly finish that game without continuing back in the
Yeah.
day.
Mhm.
And I cannot do that anymore. My skills have atrophied a significant
It's
amount.
tough.
But I do wish I could have had one of my old kind of top level playthroughs of that on tape.
Actually,
Yeah.
now that you're saying that, I would love to have a recording of my playthroughs of Batman Returns on the Sega CD, because there was a point where I had
Ooh.
that game down cold.
Really?
I would like, I could tell you, I think it was an hour and 3 minutes was my, like, I could say, if I, when I started a game, I could say, like, when the clock is an hour and 3 minutes from now,
Yeah.
I will be rolling credits on this, and I could do it every
Wow.
time.
Wow.
Man.
And I would love to have, like, just, I could never do that now, but I would love
Right.
to have a playthrough of that.
That's a tough game too.
Yeah.
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 There was a point, when Night Trap came out, I had a little notebook that I wrote all the times for everything
Right.
Yep.
in. But by the time I was done with that game, I didn't even need the notebook. I could just play right through it, when all the code changes were happening and all the
Oh,
augers
yeah.
that I had to trap and everything.
That's
like,
impressive, because that's like 25 minutes nonstop. Like, you can't stop that.
you
Yeah.
can't stop it, right? Yeah. And
Yeah,
even
pretty
like
cool.
the remaster on PS4, like when I first booted that up, I knew exactly, at least for the first 10 minutes of the game,
Oh wow.
where I needed to be, just because I had done it so many times back in my
Very
teenage
cool.
years.
Yeah, my a friend of mine, my old buddy Jim and I, we sort of we did the same thing. We kind of tag teamed it though.
Yeah.
So we would compile our notes, and yeah, we had when every auger was possible to catch. We even like whenever there was a story beat, like oh,
Mhm.
this is the time. Go to the
Yeah,
living
yeah.
room to see the dance party.
Well, you had to
Oh,
go see the
here's
dance party.
Had to.
here's
Absolutely.
where they discover the popsicles in the freezer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That are actually blood.
No.
No. Yeah. I played
Man,
a
oh,
lot of
man.
that game.
Yeah.
And I had everything written down in that notebook every time and everything. And I was like, all right, I'm going to send this into EGM and they're going to print it. Nobody has been this thorough charting it out. Then like a day later, I picked up the new EGM. Had exactly all the times in there. I was like, oh shit.
Is it some other reader or?
I think it was just they
Damn
printed
you,
Yeah.
all the
Trickman
times.
Terry.
Yep.
I worked hard for that.
again.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right. Let's do this one from Hacker Alias Hoity, who says, what if the Super Nintendo SA1 or Super FX had been an add-on, like the 32X, rather than included in every game? Could it have lowered game prices or allowed more games to take advantage of the tools it provided? Seeing some of the work adding support to games makes me wonder.
I would imagine that it would have lowered the price, but I also don't think it would have been as successful.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
I agree.
because it would have been a lot harder.
Oh, wait, are we
Who-
saying the 32X is successful, or are you saying the Super FX chip was successful?
Super FX chip.
I'm saying that if the Super FX chip was sold as an add-on to the Super Nintendo, it would not have
Right.
Been
taken
successful.
off.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yes, I think yes, it probably would have made game costs lower.
Yeah.
But I also think that it would have been very difficult for Nintendo to convince parents to buy a $30, $40 add-on to
Yeah, how many Super FX games were there? Like 5?
I don't think there were that
Because there was
many.
No.
Stunt Race, there was Star Fox,
Star Fox.
Mega Man
Yeah.
X2, or one of the Mega Man X's had an FX chip in it.
X3,
X3 and Yoshi.
Yoshi's Island,
So that's 4.
but
So yeah.
yeah, I don't think it would have been a good move.
No.
I don't think it would have been enough of a leap to justify it anyway. I mean, you know, I feel like if it had been an add-on, we can sit here and say there were like 4 Super FX games, maybe 5. If it had been an add-on, there probably would have been more.
Right.
But I don't know that you would have had enough to take advantage of it. Plus, it was pretty late stage, wasn't it? Like, when did Star Fox
Yeah.
come out? 93, 4? I don't remember what year it came out.
No, it was like 94. It was before I started working at Babbage's
Okay.
that came out.
So, you know, I mean, not to say the Sega CD was a massive success or anything like that, or even the TurboGrafx CD, but in that case, you could point to it and say, like, this also offers CD capabilities. You know, it would be an easier sell, I think, than just sort of this can let you do 3D on a Super Nintendo. I don't think it would have made sense as an add-on. Like the 32X.
I agree. Yeah, I didn't
Oh,
think
you
the
know what?
32X made sense based
Mega
on
Man
the
game
ball.
did not use the
I
Super
thought
FX.
there was an X. Oh, okay. I thought there was an X game that used it.
X3 utilizes the CX4 chip,
Okay.
which was apparently also in X2,
Okay.
but not the Super FX. Doom uses the Super FX chip, though.
Okay.
Ah, that makes sense.
So,
Yes. All right. Let's do this one from Hacker Alias Insipid Ghost, who says, "Are you hopeful Sony and Nintendo have their own showcases in the E3 window?"
yes, I would like to see new games.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would also like to see new games, please.
I don't care too much whether they're in the E3. I mean, I know. What are we calling the E3 window? May, June?
June.
Just June? Okay.
Just
Yeah,
June.
sure. I'd love to
Yeah.
know about more new games in the next couple of months.
Yeah. Well, I hope we definitely get some more info on Splatoon 3 and whatever Nintendo's got cooking for the fall. Love to know more about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited about Splatoon 3. Very excited. And it'd be good to know like what Sony's got for PS5 for the rest of the year.
That would be nice.
Would be nice. All right.
They haven't announced a date for VR2, have they?
No.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
But
It'd be
I'm
nice to
very
hear more about
excited
that. Yep.
I'm only excited about VR2 if there's an Astrobot game to go with it.
Yes.
I was, now that I've got my VR sort of actively getting hooked up again to play Moss 2,
Yeah.
I think once I get through that, I'm going to have to do a playthrough of Astrobot again. It's because it's been long enough.
Yeah. Astrobot.
Man, love that
So
game.
good.
I wouldn't
I was
know.
listening to the soundtrack today, actually.
I
Oh,
wouldn't
nice.
know. I need to play it.
You really do.
That's why I'm excited about PSVR
Yeah.
2. It's like I
Yeah.
want to play all these PlayStation exclusive VR games, but I don't want to play them on PSVR 1. So
Yeah, you already have. You have an Astrobot game to play right out of the box there.
I know, and I'll be happy to do it.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Can't wait
Wonderful
for
game.
that. Yeah. I mean, the Nod VR game was wonderful. I can only imagine.
Mhm.
Yes. All right, let's do this one from Hacker Alias I finally watched, who says, I've reached the Vita release window in listening to old P1 podcast episodes, and all of you seem to love it. General thoughts on that system and its games? I never had one. Did I miss out?
No,
No, you didn't miss out.
it had
Like,
a couple of really good games.
Yeah.
It did.
I love the Vita.
The benefit
that
of
was
it
great.
is a portable system at the time that had a much better screen
Mm.
than the 3DS.
It had tons of potential.
Tons of potential. The dual analog was good.
Yep.
Tons of potential, but they just didn't do it.
Looking back on it, I like my PSP a lot more. Just I feel like the PSP library had way more good stuff in it.
Gravity Rush came out on PS4.
And there you go. Right.
There's no reason to get a Vita.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Like when I got my Vita, I played through Uncharted right away. I put a lot of time into the first Hot Shots Open T, but that had a lot. I mean, it was a really good game. Don't get me wrong, but that had a lot to do with the fact that we were playing like online tournaments and stuff like that with the P1P audience. And I think those are the only two games I own for it. I think I have some. I downloaded some games. I played Rogue Legacy on it.
Okay.
And there was like there was that music game that came out for it, but that also came out on PS4.
In Sound Shapes.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
That was really great, but that's out on PS4 as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, like they're just I couldn't sit here and name 5 great Vita games. And even if I could, probably at least 2 of them would have also come out on PS4. So, you know.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, there was that Uncharted game that's never going to get ported to anything because
it's a shame that that's locked to the Vita.
It used the touch screen and the back touch.
Yeah. Oh, there's another one that I can think of. Tearaway.
Tearaway
Great Vita game, and that also is locked to the Vita. But there is a Tearaway game for the PS4. It's not quite as good, but it's still really good, and it's very charming.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the Vita, but Sony just didn't maximize its potential. I mean, it's a machine that has so much potential to it that's just they never tapped into it for whatever reason.
That portable market,
they couldn't. Yeah, I think part of it has to do with the cadence of releases. Like, there just was not a steady flow of Vita software coming out. Like, I know a lot of people focus on, all right, the launch has to have 6 games, no 12 games, no 24. But it's like with video game systems, oftentimes it's, yes, the launch period is important, but it's also the follow-up, like having something new for people to play over the first year. I think that's part of what the Switch did so right in that first year, because they had something to play. Like every single month, something new came out. Even if it was, a Wii U port, it didn't matter. It was something new to get excited about. So that didn't work too well with the Vita. I don't think they're going to be doing any portable machines going forward. That ship has sailed.
No, I can't imagine they ever will.
No.
Especially not in a world where the Switch exists now.
No. All right, let's do one more from Hacker Alias 1-star V2, who said, in response to last week's mention of Zelda 2, I'm finally giving the game an honest shot, and I'm quite enjoying it. A guide is necessary. Number 1, what do you think works/doesn't in it? And then number 2, what are your thoughts on the recent Yuji Naka news? How could Balan have been finished or actually good? Yeah, it couldn't have. I don't think it could have. So
me neither. Zelda 2. I love Zelda 2 personally. I think if anything, what it desperately needed was a better balance, better difficulty balance.
Yeah, definitely.
But otherwise, I mean, I just adore that game, and I played through it again a few years back, and I agree. You need it. You do need a guide, especially in Death Mountain. I mean, you don't necessarily absolutely 100% need one, but if you don't want to hate the game, you should have a guide, especially through the Death Mountain section. But a whole lot works in that game. I still I remember playing it for the first time And I missed out on the original Zelda. Like, I didn't get my NES until after the original Zelda had sort of happened, and Zelda 2 was kind of the new hotness when I got my NES. And I just remember being so impressed by how versatile the character was that you were controlling. Just being able to like put your shield high and low in order to block attacks, and you know, and then as you were unlocking more abilities, like the magic abilities that you got for the high jumps and the shield, and even things like going into rooms that were dark and seeing like the motion of like the creatures on the floor just in the shadows, so you could kind of see what you were doing, and the upward thrust and the downward thrust. And I just, man, I loved that game. I thought it was great. I think it gets very unfairly maligned now. I mean, it is
Mainly
weird
because of
as
that
far as the
difficulty
Zelda game
ramp.
goes. Yeah, the
Mainly 'cause of that
difficulty ramp is
difficulty ramp.
tough. Although, and I was doing a show with on a gamer looks at 40, because he's going to be covering Zelda soon. And one of the things that I mentioned on that show that I think does hold true, because I think apparently there seems to be groups of people who are kind of rediscovering Zelda 2. And I think in this day and age, in the gaming landscape that we have now, especially where so many people are into Souls games, that maybe the difficulty ramp isn't as big a deal anymore. Maybe that's kind of what people are looking for.
That's possible.
Could be. So, anyway, I love Zelda 2. I'm
Yeah.
glad you're playing it, and I hope you continue to enjoy it. Like I said, you will hit moments where it's just like, but overall, it is a really good game.
You know, and I think we've talked about this a little bit on the show. Like, I'd love to see Nintendo revisit that game, because I think you fix some of the difficulty ramp problems or change some of the things about the game, and it could be amazing. Like the combat in the game, the movement, and that stuff is great.
The castles were well designed.
Yeah, the council stuff that's all really good. I think it just falls flat in a couple of places, and they could probably pretty easily fix that or remake it, or give it to an indie dev and have them polish it up. Like, I think that could be huge.
I feel like if you, and I don't think Nintendo would ever do this, but I could just imagine, like, if you gave a Zelda 2 remake to somebody like M2 or any of those studios that do that kind of work, like the people who did Wonder Boy as an example, or the team behind like the Shantae games, like any of those studios, if you got them to do a remake of Zelda 2, it would be unreal. It would be so good. And you wouldn't have to change much. The gameplay itself, the gameplay loop in that game and the controls in that game are quite solid. It's got a really great sense of momentum that I don't think it gets enough credit for, as well, as far as Link's movement.
Yep.
So yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, and Way Forward has already worked with Nintendo, because they're the company behind the Advance Wars reboot camp. So
right, yes, yeah.
You just get Way Forward on the hook for another Nintendo project and have them do Zelda 2.
I'd definitely be there day one for sure.
That'd be pretty amazing. Or what was that company? You know, the NES remix games that were so excellent.
Oh yeah.
I think the company that did them was called Indie Zero. What the hell are they working on these days? Like the NES remix package, both the 3DS game and the Wii U game, were both awesome. Like,
I was thinking of Lizard Cube was the
Lizard
other
Cube.
group I was thinking of.
Yeah.
They would, I think that, you do something, .mu and Lizard Cube, you do something with like the sort of cartoony style that they use for like Wonder Boy.
Yeah.
That would look amazing.
That could be awesome.
Yeah.
Nintendo will do that one day, right? On an infinite time scale.
But
I mean, not tomorrow, but they'll revisit that at some point.
Zelda 2 is just, as far as revisiting Zelda games, it just doesn't seem to be something they've ever been interested in. They've re-released it, but
they've re-released it. Yeah.
I don't see them revisiting it.
Well, we'll see. All right, and I think that's it. That's a good place to stop. Alrighty then. Thanks for listening, everybody. That's our show for this week. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1Podcast on the Twitters, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. You'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Stewart and Generation 16 episodes as they become available.
Someday.
Someday, he says.
Somehow.
Some way.
Gonna make it all right, but not right now.
That's right. You will also find show notes, links to all the things that we talked about on this episode, and you will find a link to our Discord server where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you would like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast listening app. We're also on Stitcher Radio. You can like us on Facebook. We're on Spotify. You can watch video archives of our show on the youtubes.com/P1 podcast or watch us live most weeks on the YouTubes, the Twitters, the Facebooks, the Twitch televisions, all over the darn internet, if you please. And I'll tell you what, if you like what you've heard, and how could you? You could head over to patreon.com/P1 podcast. Throw a few shekels our way because I need some antihistamines. And let me tell you, America doesn't want to pay for your health care, so I'm having to reach out. This is my GoFundMe for our health care.
No.
It's
not. No.
It's not?
No.
Ugh.
You can start a separate one if you like, but
Okay.
you're free to do that.
Well, of course I am. This is America. Dang it.
Yeah.
I'm free to do as I please. My goodness.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Your Patreon dollars do, of course, help support our little show. It keeps us streaming and all that stuff every week. So help out if you are in a position to do so. And I'll tell you what, friendos, if you are a Patreon supporter of the $5 tier,
Cheap.
you gain access to a special weekly bonus episode that we record right after this. We play games, crack wise, have fun, doing all the stuff we can't do on the regular show. CJ, what do we have this week for a game?
Phil, let me tell you, we have a game this week. We have a game.
I keep hearing that.
I'm loading up my email to see what it is. From Hacker Alias Crickster, this one, it's video game industry laws and regulations, intellectual property, litigation, and other related topics.
Sounds like a
my.
hoot and a holler.
Holy, what?
Is this a Jeopardy
In
quiz?
Degrassi.
It's a Jeopardy quiz.
It's a
Yes.
Jeopardy quiz. So it's all like legal transpirans.
I love it. This will be
Okay.
good. This will be
It's-
very good.
It's fitting. It's thematic for this week.
What with Yuji Naka's legal wranglings?
No, I'm being sued.
Oh, okay.
I was served papers the other day.
Was it during a screening of your new film? No.
Yep. Yes, indeed. I was on stage. Oh, my goodness. Well, that should be fun.
That should
Please
be
look
fun. I
forward to
like
that,
it.
everyone.
Yeah.
Hey, and you know what? If you want a little a taste, a little sampling of what our bonus
Have a
shows are,
teaser.
yeah, CJ on Thursdays. I don't always advertise this during the outro, but CJ on Thursday nights he'll put up an old one on
From
our regular
like
podcast
a
feed.
year and a half ago, almost
Yeah.
2 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's they're games. They're still timely. It's not like we're dropping
That's right.
old news.
No, you can relive the
absolutely.
fun part of 2020 when we were doing video game quizzes on the after show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. So yeah, give those a listen, and if you like what you hear, tune in via the Patreon. And I'll tell you what, if you have a few bucks left over, head over to patreon.com/generation16 to help support Greg Stewart's outstanding, and it is outstanding, web series about North America's favorite runner-up. And I'll tell you what, it makes for a fine in-car music stereo substitute. The Sega Genesis.
Thanks, Phil. And if you are a Patreon supporter of the $5 per episode variety,
Also cheap.
thank you, Satan, you get access to my vlog series called The Weekly Commute, where I talk about the production of each episode, production of other videos I'm working on, anything else that comes to mind. Plus, lately, old man stories about
Oh.
memories of games in my collection. Today, I was talking about Paper Mario and
Oh.
how Nintendo used to make us review their games.
Oh,
And
just
it's
like
kind of fun.
the old
Mm-hmm.
games locked in the black box kind of thing.
Also, I reveal how much of Paper Mario Game Informer played when they reviewed it.
Ooh.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Much.
Oh, my. Oh, because you had their saved games on there,
Yeah,
right?
because they went there first.
Because we were outside of Chicago and they were in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
So when game companies would come out to EGN, they'd usually stop by the Game Informer
Mm-hmm.
on the
Before
way.
or after, and this time it was before.
This time it was before, and their save game was still on the system. Whoops.
That's too good.
Anyway, yeah,
Oh.
check it out, and please consider supporting the show. Every little bit helps, and it's only per episode. It's not monthly, so please.
What a
consider.
bargain.
It really is.
It's you know what? It might be your best value on Patreon.
I think so personally.
I'm just the numbers. Just looking at the numbers.
Yep.
Is that it?
That's it.
That's it?
I think that's it.
CJ,
Yeah.
I've been meaning to ask you about this. I don't know if I was not on the show last week. I was out doing family stuff with my with my other family. And I don't know if this was there last week, but I see you got like a shoe over the door shoe tree or something there. Is that holding controllers?
It is. Controllers and headsets
Yeah.
and Joy-Con straps and N64 controllers for Switch and
I'm seeing a
NES.
a PlayStation controller looks like there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A couple of those.
Okay. Is that
Yeah.
new this week or did you have that last week?
That's new this week. Yeah.
Okay. That's I want to say it's a fairly clever storage solution.
I agree with that. I got it off of our listener Discord. A listener, I think it
look
was
at that.
Levity NYC, said that he had done this with a shoe organizer.
Right.
And I was like, that's a great idea because in front of my television over here, it used to be just controllers on the top. And now I can put those somewhere else. So
Very nice.
very nice. Yeah.
There you go, YouTube viewers.
Right over here.
You can
thing right
check
here.
out our YouTube stream for organizing and storage solutions.
That's right.
For all your video game paraphernalia.
Mm-hmm.
Solutions. Is that coming through? Solutions.
It is, yeah.
It sounds like it's cutting off on my mic. Solutions.
It cuts off right at the end.
It cuts off, but you know,
we miss the N and then we hear the S sound.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Solutions.
yes.
Anyway, let's move on.
Sibilance. CJ, thank you very much
Thank you, Phil.
for doing all that you do
And you as well.
in regards to this show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Gregory,
Yo.
thank you as well.
Thank you, Philip.
You always have the finest solutions. Solutions.
It's not gonna fix
It's not
it
getting
all.
better.
Solutions. Well, you know what? I think hold on, listen. Solutions. Solutions. Does that sound any better?
No.
I'm messing with a setting on here called
No,
a
don't
D
Why?
mess with any
master.
It's not the
settings.
time to do it. Just
Well, it's too late now. I've already done it. Bye, everyone. We'll see y'all next week. Oh, you know what? I didn't thank our listeners.
Oh,
Thank
yes.
you. Thank you, listeners. Our wonderful, wonderful listeners. As always, thank you. Take care of yourselves in this crazy workaday world in which we have found ourselves. Take care of your loved ones, your family, your friends, yourself. My goodness. Do what you got to do to be safe. And we hope beyond hope to see you next week. Goodbye, dear friends.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.